5 people you must avoid in old age, even family. Have you ever felt drained after spending time with someone you thought cared about you? Or maybe you've questioned why certain people in your life seem to bring more stress than comfort. As we get older, protecting our peace becomes more important than ever. In today's video, we'll explore 5 types of people you need to avoid to protect your happiness and mental health, even if they're family. These insights might surprise you, but they're essential for living a peaceful, fulfilling life after 70. If you enjoy this video, hit the like button and comment the number 2 to show some love. If you think we can do better, drop a heart and comment the number 7 so we can keep improving for you. Thank you so much for your support. Don't forget to subscribe to After 7080 for more valuable insights and inspiration to help you make the most of your golden years. Let's dive in. The energy drainers. Protect your energy and embrace peace. Have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling like someone just pulled the plug on your energy? It's like carrying an invisible weight that grows heavier with every interaction. You smile, nod, and listen, but deep down, you feel your spirit shrinking. Energy drainers have a way of sneaking into our lives, often disguised as people we care about, old friends, family members, or even trusted neighbors. The hard truth is, no matter how much we love them, some relationships can drain us more than they nourish us. Linda, a 72-year-old retired teacher from Florida, knows this all too well. Linda had always been the rock of her family, the one everyone leaned on. Her daughter, Emily, would call her almost every day. At first, Linda cherished these calls. They were moments to catch up and feel connected. But over time, the conversations became one-sided. Emily would vent about her problems at work, her finances, and the challenges of raising kids. Linda listened patiently, offering advice and support, but the calls left her feeling emotionally exhausted. She started losing sleep, dreading the sound of the phone ringing, and wondering if she was doing something wrong. One evening, after yet another draining conversation, Linda sat in her favorite armchair with a cup of chamomile tea. She stared out the window and thought, when did being a mom start to feel like carrying a boulder uphill? That moment of clarity was the wake-up call she needed. Linda realized that loving her daughter didn't mean sacrificing her own peace. She decided to set gentle but firm boundaries, limiting calls to once a week and steering conversations toward positive topics. The result? Linda felt lighter, happier, and more in control of her life. She still loved Emily deeply, but now their relationship felt healthier, and so did Linda. She had reclaimed her energy without damaging the bond they shared. Now, let me ask you this. Does Linda's story sound familiar? Have you ever felt drained by someone you care about, but didn't know how to change the dynamic? What would it feel like to set boundaries and take back your peace? Drop a comment below and share your thoughts. Your experience might just help someone else who's going through the same thing. Here's the truth. Setting boundaries isn't about pushing people away. It's about deciding who gets a front row seat in your life. It's not selfish, it's self-care. And let's be honest, after 70, haven't you earned the right to enjoy your days without guilt? Think about it. Who's been weighing you down? What's one step you can take today to lighten that load? Maybe it's an honest conversation, or maybe it's simply choosing to spend more time with people who lift you up. Your time is precious, spend it wisely. And remember, this stage of life isn't about pleasing everyone. It's about living fully. So go ahead. Give yourself permission to let go of what no longer serves you and embrace the peace you deserve. We're all on this journey together. So share your thoughts below. And let's keep building a community where we lift each other higher. The judgmental critics. Let go of negativity and embrace confidence. Have you ever shared something you were excited about, only to be met with criticism instead of encouragement? Maybe you started a new hobby, updated your wardrobe, or simply wanted to try something different, and suddenly, someone swooped in with their unwanted opinions. These are the judgmental critics, the people who always seem to know what's best for you, yet leave you feeling small, unsure, and second-guessing your every move. Tom, a 74-year-old retired firefighter from Texas, experienced this firsthand. After decades of hard work, Tom finally had time to pursue his lifelong dream, painting landscapes. He set up a cozy art studio in his garage, stocked with brushes and vibrant colors. Painting became his therapy, his joy, his escape. But every time his old friend Jack dropped by, the conversation took a sharp turn. "Why are you wasting time with this?" Jack would say with a chuckle. "You'll never sell a single painting. You should be out fishing like the rest of us." At first, Tom laughed it off, but the comments started to chip away at his confidence. He began hiding his artwork and questioning whether he was just fooling himself. One afternoon, after Jack's latest jab, Tom sat alone in his studio, staring at an unfinished painting. He thought about all the hours he had poured into this new passion and asked himself, "Why am I letting someone else's opinion control my happiness?" That was the moment Tom decided he'd had enough. He set boundaries with Jack, limiting their visits, and instead started surrounding himself with people who supported his creativity. And guess what? Tom didn't just finish that painting. He entered it into a local art show and won second place. More importantly, he rediscovered his confidence and passion, free from the weight of criticism. So, let me ask you, who's the Jack in your life? Is there someone whose words make you doubt yourself? Someone who plants seeds of insecurity instead of encouragement? It's time to ask yourself an important question. Why am I letting their voice drown out my own? Critics will always exist, but their opinions don't define you. This stage of life is about freedom. Freedom to be yourself, to follow your passions, and to embrace what makes you happy. Don't let anyone steal that from you. Think about it. What's something you've always wanted to do but held back because of fear of judgment? Is it learning to dance? Writing poetry? Traveling alone? Whatever it is, give yourself permission to start now. Your happiness doesn't need anyone else's approval. Drop a comment below and share your thoughts. Have you ever faced criticism that held you back? How did you overcome it? Let's support each other and prove that it's never too late to follow your dreams. Remember, life after 70 is about living boldly, not shrinking to fit someone else's expectations. You've earned the right to live on your terms, so go ahead. Pick up that brush, take that trip, and never let anyone's judgment stop you from being exactly who you were meant to be. The users, recognize your worth and take back control. Have you ever had the sinking feeling that someone was only keeping you around for what you could give them, not for who you truly are? It's that uneasy sense that no matter how much you give, it's never enough. These are the users, the people who see your kindness as a weakness and your generosity as something to exploit. They're often subtle, slipping into your life with charm and flattery. But over time, their true intentions start to show. Mary, a 68-year-old grandmother from California, knows this story all too well. Mary adored her grandson, Daniel, and cherished every visit he made. At first, Daniel would drop by with flowers and big hugs, making Mary feel loved and appreciated. But as time went on, the visits always seemed to come with a request: a little cash to fix his car, help with rent, or cover a bill, just this once. Mary didn't mind at first. After all, family helps family, right? But then the requests became more frequent, and the gratitude less sincere. Mary started noticing that Daniel only called when he needed something. When she tried to talk about her own needs or feelings, the conversation quickly shifted back to him. One day, after yet another request for money, Mary sat down at her kitchen table, her heart heavy. She looked around at the home she had built with years of hard work and thought. When did I stop being grandma and start being the family ATM? That moment changed everything. Mary decided it was time to draw the line, not out of anger, but out of love. She sat Daniel down and explained that while she loved him deeply, she couldn't keep supporting his lifestyle at the expense of her own peace and security. She offered advice, encouraged him to take responsibility, and reminded him that true love isn't about what you can get, it's about what you can share. Was it easy? No. Mary worried she might lose her connection with Daniel. But something amazing happened. Instead of pushing her away, Daniel respected her honesty and began to take steps to stand on his own 2 feet. Their relationship grew stronger because it was finally built on respect, not expectation. So, what about you? Have you ever felt like someone was taking advantage of your kindness? Maybe it's a friend who only calls when they need a favor, or a relative who makes you feel guilty for not giving more. Ask yourself this. Are you pouring so much into others that you're leaving your own cup empty? It's time to reclaim your worth. Setting boundaries doesn't mean shutting people out. It means teaching them how to treat you. And let's be honest, after all the years you've spent caring for others, isn't it time to make sure you're cared for too? Think about it. Who in your life might be taking more than they're giving? And what small step can you take today to start setting healthier boundaries? Drop a comment below and let's talk about it. Your story might be the encouragement someone else needs to make a change. Remember this, your worth isn't measured by what you can give away. It's measured by the love, wisdom, and strength you bring to the table. Don't let anyone make you feel less than that. This is your time to stand tall, protect your peace, and surround yourself with people who truly value you, not just what you can do for them. The negative Nancys, protect your joy and guard your mind. Have you ever walked away from someone and felt like a cloud of gloom followed you home? It's as if their negativity clung to you, weighing down your spirit and making the world feel a little less bright. These are the negative Nancys, the constant complainers, the worriers, the ones who see problems in every solution and rain on every parade. And if you're not careful, their energy can seep into your life, dimming your joy and robbing you of peace. John, a 70-year-old retired mechanic from New York, knew exactly what that felt like. After losing his wife, John turned to his neighbor, Rick, for company. At first, their daily coffee chats were comforting, a chance to talk, share memories, and ease the loneliness. But over time, John noticed a pattern. Rick's conversations always revolved around bad news, the economy crashing, illnesses spreading, and endless complaints about everything from politics to weather. John started noticing a change in himself. He felt more anxious, more irritable, and less hopeful about the future. Even on sunny days, it felt like Rick's negativity cast a shadow. One morning, as John stared at his untouched coffee, he thought, "Is this how I want to spend the rest of my mornings? Listening to someone tear down everything good in life?" That thought was John's wake-up call. He decided to make a change, not by cutting Rick out completely, but by limiting their conversations and balancing them with more uplifting activities. John joined a local gardening club, where the conversations were about growth, both in plants and in life. He started volunteering at a community center, sharing stories and laughter with kids who reminded him of his younger days. Slowly but surely, the cloud lifted, and John felt like himself again, optimistic, engaged, and full of life. So, here's the question. Who are the negative Nancys in your life? Do you find yourself nodding along to complaints just to keep the peace, even when it drains your energy? And more importantly, what would it feel like to replace those conversations with ones that inspire and uplift you? Negativity is contagious, but so is positivity. Imagine spending your days with people who make you laugh, who share stories of hope, and who remind you that life, even with its challenges, is still worth celebrating. Doesn't that sound better? Drop a comment below and share your experience. Have you ever had to distance yourself from someone's negativity? How did it change your life? Let's talk about it, because your story could be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. Remember, life is too short to spend it surrounded by clouds. You've worked too hard and come too far to let negativity steal your sunshine. This is your time to bloom, to grow, and to fill your life with the kind of energy that makes you excited to wake up every morning. Protect your joy, guard your mind, and never forget, you deserve peace, positivity, and endless reasons to smile. The controllers, take back your freedom and live life on your terms. Have you ever felt like someone in your life was pulling the strings, deciding what you should do, how you should feel, and even who you should be? Controllers often start with good intentions. They might say they're just looking out for you or want what's best for you. But over time, their constant advice, demands, and interference can make you feel like a puppet instead of the independent, wise, and capable person you truly are. Susan, a 75-year-old retired nurse from Seattle, knew this struggle all too well. After her husband passed away, Susan's son, Mark, stepped in to help her manage household tasks and finances. At first, Susan appreciated the support, but as the months passed, Mark's help started to feel more like control. He insisted on reviewing all her bills, criticized her spending habits, and even suggested she sell her home and move closer to him. The final straw came when Susan mentioned wanting to take a trip with her friends. Mark immediately dismissed the idea, saying, "At your age? That's risky. You should stay home where it's safe." Susan felt a knot in her stomach. Safe or trapped? That evening, as Susan sat in her cozy living room, flipping through old travel photos, she realized something important. This was her life, and she wasn't ready to give up living it. Susan knew the conversation wouldn't be easy, but she stood her ground. She lovingly reminded Mark that while she appreciated his care, she needed space to make her own choices. She set boundaries, asked him to trust her judgment, and reassured him that she wasn't being reckless. She was simply choosing to live fully. And guess what? Susan didn't just take that trip. She came back feeling more alive than she had in years. She proved to herself and to Mark that independence doesn't have an expiration date. Now, let me ask you, do you have a Mark in your life? Someone who means well but leaves you feeling small, stifled, or second-guessed? What would it feel like to reclaim your freedom and start living on your own terms again? Here's the truth. Being cared for and being controlled are two very different things. Care comes from love, but control often comes from fear. Fear of losing you, fear of change, or fear of the unknown. The key is to recognize the difference and have the courage to speak up. Think about it. What's one thing you've wanted to do but held back because someone else didn't approve? Is it time to have that conversation and start taking back control? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your story might inspire someone else to take their first step toward freedom. And remember this: after all the years you've spent building your life, raising your family, and making sacrifices, you've earned the right to live exactly the way you want. So go ahead, book that trip, start that hobby, or make that bold change. Life doesn't stop after 70. It gets richer when you give yourself permission to live it fully. Conclusion: embrace freedom, protect your peace, and live fully. By now, you've probably seen glimpses of your own life in these stories. The energy drainers who leave you feeling empty, the critics who chip away at your confidence, the users who take more than they give, the negative Nancys who cloud your joy, and the controllers who try to steer your every move. If any of this resonates with you, know this: you're not alone. And more importantly, it's never too late to make a change. Life after 70 isn't about shrinking into the background or letting others decide what's best for you. It's about stepping into your power, honoring your years of wisdom, and choosing relationships that lift you up instead of weighing you down. You've earned this freedom. You've built a life rich in experiences, lessons, and love, and that deserves to be celebrated, not controlled or criticized. Think about it. How many sunrises do you have left to enjoy? How many conversations filled with laughter? How many quiet mornings with a cup of coffee and a heart full of peace? Every moment matters, and you deserve to spend them surrounded by people who make you feel alive, not people who make you feel small. So let this be your reminder. It's okay to say no. It's okay to walk away from negativity. It's okay to choose yourself. Setting boundaries doesn't mean closing doors. It means opening windows to let in fresh air, light, and positivity. And don't let fear hold you back. Fear of judgment, fear of change, fear of losing relationships. You've faced challenges before and come out stronger every single time. This is just one more step toward becoming the person you were always meant to be: free, joyful, and unafraid to live life on your own terms. Now it's your turn. Who's ready to take back their energy, their confidence, and their happiness? What's one change you can make today, big or small, to reclaim your peace and start living the life you deserve? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's create a space where we inspire and lift each other up. If you found this message helpful, don't forget to like, share, and spread the word to others who need to hear it. And most importantly, subscribe to After 7080 for more inspiring videos and stories that remind you it's never too late to live your best life. Your next chapter starts now. Make it one worth celebrating.